Hey guys, in today's video, we're checking out the PTG-11 by Phenyx Pro. This is a wireless system for your guitar or your bass, or anything that accepts 1/4 inch or 3.5 millimeter. This one's a little bit different of a design compared to the ones that I've done a ton of videos of recently. I've done a lot of the super easy plug and play ones. This one, I think, is the next step up from that because it has an actual receiver, but still has this really easy to use transmitter that charges over USB. So it's kind of like a hybrid, but this is still cheaper than some of the plug and play ones that I've done reviews on. Right now, this is sitting at about $135 for this system. Some of the ones by like X5 and Boss and stuff like that are $150 to $200. So this one's already cheaper and it has a lot more features, which I really like. If you really are still interested in just the plug and play ones, which of course has less features than ones with the full receiver, Phenyx Pro does actually make one of those as well, and it's around $50 to $60. So I will post links in the description down below on where you can purchase both of those if you're interested. I'll tell you right off the bat, I do think this is a really good system, especially for the price, all the extra specs that you get. So spoiler alert, I really like it, but we're going to go over to see if it's right for you. So before we get started, I post videos like this all the time, stuff on gear reviews, wireless, in-ear monitors, MIDI, programming, Helix, HX Stomp, all sorts of stuff like that. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this in the future, don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell. All right, let's get started. First of all, I do want to just say that Phenyx Pro did send me this unit to check out. I'm not being paid by them. They just sent it to me to try out. If I did not like the unit, I would not put it on my YouTube channel, but just wanted to be transparent with you. Okay, so this thing comes with everything that you need, including stuff that is not normally included with a wireless system, stuff that you normally have to pay extra for, which I really like. Obviously, you even get the case, which is super convenient and makes it very portable if you choose to bring this portably and not like Velcro it down to your board or something. So looking at some of the specs, this is not in 2.4 or 5.8 gigahertz. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll understand why those can sometimes be troublesome, 2.4 being a lot of trouble, 5.8 being a lot better. This one is actually in the 902 through the 927 megahertz region, which is good. The number of channels that are available, there's 100 different channels that you can choose from. There's 100 different channels in here. So if you're getting interference, you have 99 other channels to choose from, which is great. Frequency response is from 50 hertz to 18 kilohertz. You never really need anything above or below that anyways. The range is 165, 175 feet. They definitely made it pretty specific in there. It all depends on your environment, but getting up to 175 feet is great distance. And I am going to do a distance test here a little later. The battery on the transmitter has a built-in lithium battery, charges over micro USB, and has over 8 hours of working time, which is awesome. So it's got a pretty solid battery life in there. One of the other things in the manual, it mentions that you can use up to 50 receivers at once, but they don't recommend doing above 20. So yeah, 50 receivers at once, that's a lot of wireless signal going. You're definitely going to run into problems if you have that many just in general, but the fact that you can do 20 at once is more than enough, especially at this price point. All right, so you get, like I said, you get everything that you need for this system. You don't have to buy anything else, which is really nice. So we have the receiver, and this is the transmitter, which goes into your guitar. They've also included, so obviously the antennas, which I'm going to show you how to put on, power supply. This is the USB, micro USB cable for charging the transmitter. It does come with a 1/4 inch to 3.5 millimeter adapter in case if you decide to use it with 3.5 millimeter for something, which I've actually done. It comes with a 1/4 inch cable for coming out the back. If you do need an XLR, you'll have to provide that, but most of the time you're going to want to use this. And this is the part that I really like. It actually comes with rack mounts. So if you want to put this in a rack, you can do that. It would look like this. So everything is included for you to do that, including these antenna extenders, which would go here and here, and the antenna would attach like that. I'm not going to set it up like that for the sake of this video. I'm just showing you that they include it. All right, so setup is really easy. So you have the receiver. So you plug in the power, you take the antennas, and you just screw those in back here. So if you plan to Velcro this down to your board or something like that, you'll only have to do this once. Turn it on. Shows what frequency you're on. Take the transmitter, turn it on here on the side. You'll see that light turn green. Plug in, and you're ready to go. One more thing, when you turn on the transmitter, you're going to see all the bars on the receiver for RF turn all the way up. If you don't see that, it doesn't mean that, it means that they're not synced together, and I will show you how to do that here in just a second. So out the back, you have 1/4 inch out or XLR out. Most of the time, you're going to use your 1/4 inch out. It has the cable. especially if you're just running like here into like, for me, it's like going into a Helix or an HX Stomp or something like that. For you, it might be going into your first pedal, or it could sit on top of your amp and go directly into your amp like that. It just depends. That's it for the connection of the receiver. That is it. Really simple system. So some of the features that I really like about this is that it has 100 different channels to choose from. So the way that you sync these is it has this IR right here. Put the transmitter in front of it, hit set, it does IR, and it syncs them, and it's ready to go. But one of the things that I really like about this, you push set 4 times, or you push it until it says auto channel, and then push up. And what it's doing now, it's scanning for the best signal. It's scanning for the cleanest channel, which is awesome that you have control over this versus those other plug and play ones. You don't get as much control over it. So it's found this channel. You hit set to do an IR sync, and now it found it, and it's ready to go. You can also set the channel manually by hitting set, and then you can see group and channel. So you can change the group here, push set again, and now change the channel. So you can be on a different channel that you want. So you can set it manually, but usually auto scan is the best way to do it. That's what's really great about this system, is that you have the ability to scan. If you're getting any interference, I usually recommend doing the auto scan, but you can do a manual scan if you really want to. So on the receiver, there's only 2 more things that you really need to get to. So that when you push set, you get through to them. So the first one I'm going to show you is lock. You can turn it lock on or lock off. I usually leave it off. You're not going to really bump it, I don't think. But if you don't want any of the parameters to change, then you can set that to on if you want. You also have squelch control right here. So you can set that up or down. It starts at 1. I'll post more information down below if you really want to find out more about it. Basically, it's to prevent getting white noise or any sort of static type of sound. So if you're not getting a super strong signal, sometimes you can get white noise in the static. So setting your squelch means that if it's not getting a strong signal, it's not going to output that white noise type of sound. Again, look in the description if you want more of a detailed example, or if one of you has a better way to explain it, leave a comment and definitely explain it better. There's also a volume knob on the front. I usually just leave it at 12 o'clock, but you have the option to change the volume if you need to. But those are the main features on the receiver. Okay, so next for a tone test. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, my philosophy on tone is, does it sound good? If so, use it. If you can get a usable sound out of it, then we can use it. I'm not really an A-B, compare it against a cable, see if I can get, does the 1K sound a little brighter here? It's like the story of AC/DC in the studio. They were recording. They were like, something's wrong with the tone. They couldn't figure it out. The only thing that was different was the wireless. So they switched the cable out for the wireless, and the wireless gave them the tone that they were looking for. So to me, I don't really do this super A-B comparison tone chasing. To me, it's, does it sound good? If so, use it. So here's how it sounds on a clean tone. And here's how it sounds on a distortion tone. Those are the tones that I go for. Your tones might be different. To me, it sounds completely usable, and I don't hear any loss in tone. So something I'm going to mention about this, to me, it sounds like there's a little bit more compression kind of built into this system. It kind of compresses my guitar signal a little bit more. I actually love it. I use direct rigs. I'm either going into my computer, running something by like Neural DSP, or I use my Helix or my HX Stomp. The compression actually makes it sound better, in my opinion, than even like a cable. But it's not like overly compressed or anything. Just to me, it just adds the right amount. That's my personal opinion on it. Okay, so now for the range test. So for this one, I'm going to strap a GoPro on my head. I'm going to go from the basement in my house up 2.5 floors. And we're going to hear if it cuts out. It didn't cut out. That's a good sign. Range is always dependent on the wireless environment. That's just the way that wireless works. But that I can go this far with it is a good sign. Okay, the question I get asked all the time when I do these videos is, does it work with active pickups? So I made sure to message Phenyx Pro and ask them specifically about this. And this is exactly what they said. The system can work with active pickups, but with one drawback. The unit will be muted when you strum the guitar too hard because the signal is too strong, and the muting will act as a safety measure for the unit. We've noticed this issue from feedback from other customers. We're working on a fix. Please stay tuned for that as we introduce a new version when it's updated. I asked, is this going to be a software update or is it going to be a hardware update? You have to update the hardware, and they said it will be a hardware update. We might consider offering discounts for customers with the old version if they want to update. Please stay tuned for that. So I wasn't able to strum hard enough that it made this cut out. But if you are going to use this with active pickups, I would personally wait until they have that update. But it does seem like they are working on one. So don't be that guy who I answered the question about active pickups and you still ask the question in the comments. Don't be that guy. I actually asked this time. Okay, so my experience with this, I did wait to do this video until I've done a couple of shows with it. It has worked great. I haven't had any problems with it. I did try putting the antennas right next to some of my other wireless stuff. You're not supposed to do that. You're absolutely not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to have a bunch of antennas right next to each other. But I tried it anyways, and sure enough, it did cut out when you did that. So just make sure that, you know, these aren't by a ton of antennas. We had 3 wireless mics, or 3 wireless guitars, 2 wireless in-ear monitors, a wireless like click track thing. We had too much wireless going on. But all I had to do was just move this away from all that wireless, and it worked fine the rest of the night. So like I said, you're not supposed to do that, but I did that because I just wanted to test it. But it has worked great and it sounds great. The thing that makes me trust this a lot more than some of the other ones is that it has 100 different channels to choose from. So if you're getting interference, just do an auto scan and find a different channel. Having 100 channels to choose from is awesome, and that greatly reduces the risk of you getting a dropout, which is the biggest thing to worry about with wireless. To me, do I recommend this system? Absolutely. I think it's a great system, definitely worth the price. The fact that it's cheaper than some of those plug and play ones, and you get things like, you know, anything that has these external longer antennas is going to be more reliable. More features in here is great. I think it's definitely worth it. Phenyx Pro is also really good with customer support. They're very fast with responding. I did review their in-ear monitor system as well, and I made a video on that. But I've had people email them with questions, and they said they've been really responsive with getting back to them. So I definitely recommend this system. So links are in the description down below if you're interested in purchasing this system or the system that is just that plug and play one, which does have 20 different channels to choose from, which is still a nice amount. You don't get all the features that you get with this one, but that's up to you if you want to spend $60 or if you want to spend about $130. I personally think the $130 is worth it for this one. That's the cheapest I've ever seen any of these types of units, especially with how well this one works. Hope you guys found this helpful. If you made it to the end of this video, it would help me out a bunch if you just hit the like button. It does a lot to push the video and my channel out to the YouTube algorithm, so I would really appreciate that. Don't forget to check out some of my other videos that I've made about wireless gear, which you can find on the playlist on the screen. Don't forget to subscribe if you're interested in seeing more videos like this in the future. Thank you again to Phenyx Pro for sending me this to check out. If you guys have any other cool gear you want me to check out, don't forget to post them in a comment down below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you next time.